And we'll start with the conservative Michael Berry today. And Michael, my question is, have conservatives finally found their candidate in Rick Santorum?
Oh, I don't know that that's true. I mean, you have to give Santorum credit. It was a great victory. I would argue it's more of a victory for folks who refuse to let the Republican establishment choose our candidate. Santorum seemed to be the guy that was sort of last man standing after all the hits on Newt. But I think it's a healthy part of our process, and I would hope Democrats could support this too. When the votes are cast by the people and not by insiders, the Democrats have their problems with that, and the Republicans do too. What matters is not who the insiders tell us is electable, but who the people actually vote for. I think this is a very healthy process, just as the Democrat process carried all the way to a convention in 2008. I hope the Republican process does too. Hey, the Democrats won in 08 after fighting it out till the very end. I think that's good news for the Republicans.
Carl.
Well, I think if the Republicans want to nominate Rick Santorum, go for it. I mean, he's a guy that wants to let states make contraception illegal, wants to send women back into the back alleys for back alley abortions, says climate change is a hoax. Let him nominate him. A lot of people may not know that in 2006, Rick Santorum lost his reelection bid in Pennsylvania 59-41. That is the worst loss for an incumbent Republican senator in the history of this nation. He was asked about it by Brian Williams and said, well, every Republican lost that year in 2006. Why didn't he then ask the question, why did every Republican lose? Because of George Bush's policies. And that is what Rick Santorum stands for. Unpaid for wars, wants to go to war against Iran, unpaid for tax breaks for the wealthy. If you want more Bush, elect Santorum.
Carl, another subject. Which side wins if the gay marriage question is finally decided by the Supreme Court?
Well, actually, that is up for question, and this particular ruling in California is a very narrow ruling. It doesn't say that same-sex marriage is constitutional in all cases, just said Prop 8 taking it away was unconstitutional in California. It will eventually get to the Supreme Court. Right now, it could go 5-4 one way or the other, and Anthony Kennedy is the swing vote. It'll get there somehow, someday. I just hope we have President Obama appointing more justices, not a Republican.
To the right, Michael Berry.
Well, I just think it's ridiculous that the issue of gay marriage rises to the top of the agenda. I mean, you got the radicals on the left that are desperate to get married. Now we see the poster children getting divorced. The first couple in California that got married, they're getting divorced. I guess they have that right, too. It's on both sides of the spectrum, but good grief, I mean, people are hurting. The unemployment rate's out of control. The president is basically a Marxist, and we're talking about gay people getting married and gay people here. I just think it's over the top. I don't think gay people care about getting married. I think people want to focus on issues that matter, and the two fringes use this to lather themselves up.
You know, it's too bad that justice is considered frivolous here. I think the president can bring the economy back with 243,000 new jobs in January and 23 straight months of private job growth and pursue
did you notice
justice.
That? Straight months, not gay months.
Pursue justice at the same time. Good thing you weren't around in the 60s and said, oh, that voting rights stuff. What a ridiculous use of our time.
Can we move on?
Straight months, Carl, I remind you.
Can we move on?
And by the way, gay people do want to get married because it's a civil right.
Did the Obama administration, Carl, go too far with its birth control mandate?
No, absolutely not. And I love these cafeteria conservatives who are now so concerned with the Catholic bishops and following their prescripts on birth control. Why don't they follow the Catholic bishops on immigration, on help for the poor, and on the death penalty? They don't seem to. The truth is there's an exemption for churches. Catholic hospitals and Catholic universities are employers who employ people who aren't Catholic. They should act as employers and offer this coverage. It's not forcing everyone to use birth control. It's just making it available. It's about women's health. Republicans want to politicize it because the economy's getting better. They have nothing else to talk about.
Michael.
Isn't it hilarious that good Catholic Nancy Pelosi said we have to pass the bill to find out what's in it, and now we know? The president went to Notre Dame in 2009 and made a promise that there would be an exemption for people of conscience against abortion. Now he lied to them and bully for the Catholic Church that they're speaking out about it. I heard Jay Carney say that this is about access to contraception, everybody has access to contraception. You just go buy it. No, this is about the government telling the Catholic Church, you will pay for contraception and give it to your employees. That's wrong. It's un-American. It violates freedom of religion. It even violates separation of church and state. It's wrong. It's wrong legally, and it'll be wrong at the polls. This will cost Barack Obama dearly.
No, it won't. Independent voters who want to live in the
Carl.
21st century
Carl. Do you want to
understand
get
that
married or have an abortion?
contraception
Make up your mind.
that contraception should be available. It's about women's health, and you said it yourself. His speech at Notre Dame was about abortion, not contraception.
Guys, I
if
have
you
a
want some condoms, I'll mail you some. Just read. Don't require it.
Do you need to know the size?
Oh, no, we don't. Finally, I have a jump ball for each of you, and I'm just going to say it simply. And Michael, you respond first, please. Clint Eastwood Super Bowl commercial.
An embarrassment, an absolute and utter embarrassment. Clint Eastwood has spent the week since then saying, I do like Obama. I did not intend to speak on his behalf. You know, this is the troubling aspect of government-controlled bailouts, is when you start trying to tell companies, use that taxpayer money to support themes that support me, and I think people saw through it.
Yeah. I love that Karl Rove criticized it, who gave every corporation every possible advantage when he had Bush in the Oval Office. Look, there's nothing wrong with saying Detroit is coming back. I know Republicans don't want to hear it because they didn't want to help Detroit when it needed help. And again, I say 243,000 jobs created in January, 23 straight months of private sector job growth. The reason Republicans and conservatives hate that truthful ad by Chrysler, they don't want the economy to get better. That's their only chance they have to win. They are un-American.
If Detroit is coming back, why'd they have to film it in New Orleans?
Look at the profits of the big three and then come back and talk to me. And I'll also brag that spot, beautiful spot, was done by Wyden and Kennedy, an ad agency right here in Portland. Because we're all Americans, Michael.
I think you should point out that Clint Eastwood is tough enough and well-armed enough that he could have gone into Detroit and filmed it there.
Racist.
Michael Berry, Carl Wolfson, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.